Hi everyone, my name's Emma, and I'm here to talk to you about all things disciplinary. Disciplinary processes are often one of the most daunting and critical issues employers face, so I'll be sharing my top 3 tips to stop you from making some of the common mistakes we come across. My first top tip is to use the correct procedure. There are 2 factors the tribunal will look at when assessing a case. The first is whether or not you had a fair reason for dismissing the employee. Fair reasons include things like conduct, capability, redundancy, or legal prohibition. And the second is whether or not you followed a fair procedure through the process. As a citation client, you'll have a disciplinary policy and procedure in your handbook. This incorporates the ACAS Code of Practice on disciplinary and grievance procedures, which you're legally required to comply with. It's really important that you follow these procedures throughout all levels of any disciplinary action. If you don't, worst case, you could be found guilty of a procedurally unfair dismissal in a tribunal, which could bump any compensatory award up by up to 25%. My second tip is to make sure you conduct a proper investigation. To do this, you must follow a reasonable and thorough investigation and gather all relevant evidence before you can make a decision as to whether formal action will be taken. It's the employer's responsibility to take the time to establish any facts of the case and pay attention in particular to investigating any avenues that might provide evidence in support of the employee's case. If you hold an investigation meeting, we'd recommend you invite the employee to attend. Employees involved in the investigation should be reminded not to discuss the allegations against them. They should, however, be given the opportunity to ask colleagues for statements if they feel they could support their case. So let's put what we've just spoken about into practice by taking a look at a practical example of a sexual harassment investigation I was once involved with. The case was for a software management company. An IT technician who worked at their headquarters was dismissed after a complaint of sexual harassment was made by a receptionist working in the same building, and the IT technician took the company to the tribunal. There had been no witnesses to the incident, and the claimant denied the allegations. Our employment law team taught the client through the investigation process and suggested several avenues to follow up on. These included checking for CCTV evidence, looking for evidence of movement around the site from key fob access reports, and speaking to several members of staff for contextual evidence. In true citation style, we won the case and the judge actually praised the quality of the investigation into a very difficult allegation. The judge said that although there was no way to prove whether or not the allegations had taken place, he was satisfied that the client had held a genuine belief that the employee was guilty of the gross misconduct and that this was based on a reasonable investigation in the circumstances, which, as we touched on earlier, is the test the tribunal has to apply. Our third and final tip is to not have the same person deal with the whole disciplinary process. Wherever possible, we recommend your disciplinary process covers 3 core stages: an investigation hearing, a disciplinary hearing, and an appeal hearing. If possible, the person conducting each stage of the process should be different to reduce the risk of any unfair dismissal claims. In an ideal world, the investigation, disciplinary hearing, and appeal hearing should be conducted by different people of increasing seniority. If you run a small business, though, we do understand this can be difficult. At the very least, make sure the person carrying out the investigation does so with an open mind. And remember, from a warning to a dismissal, every single employee has the right to appeal any form of disciplinary action. Although we hope you won't ever need our top tips, Hopefully they'll come in handy should you need to prepare for a disciplinary process in the future. As a Citation client, if you're unsure about anything we've discussed, give our employment law team a call and they'll be happy to help. If you haven't joined Citation yet, please contact our friendly advisors on 0345 844 1111. Thanks for listening.